Hi, I'm Jeff Fowler from Team Wall Street Journal here at USA House with Dominique Dawes, the 1996 gold team medalist in gymnastics. Dominique, thank you for your time.
Thanks for having me.
Tonight is a big night for women's team gymnastics, USA going for gold. My readers have a whole bunch of questions about what it's like to actually be a gymnast, and we know you're the expert on that. To start with, how do you concentrate when you're out there in the field of play? There's like 4 things going on at the same time. Someone's blaring the Macarena to do their floor routine, you're on bar. How do you do that?
Well, I think in gymnastics, you are used to distractions all the time. When you're training, there's class kids running around, there's music blaring, and during your training sessions, you're hearing someone else get screamed at another event. So there's always things going around, and so the competition scene is no different. Obviously, it's just a bigger arena at the Olympics. There's many more people, and it's a lot louder. And so you just learn to focus on your set. You stay within yourself. That's why your thoughts are so important. You thinking the right things, you going through your corrections, and you just learning to breathe and calm down because there's no way that you're going to block out 100% of all those things going around.
Once you're out there, you're competing, what if you have to use the restroom? Do they let you go to slip away to use the bathroom, or do you have to stay there?
You know, I think they do. What I recall, they allow you to get a pass, and you just have to ask for permission because you have to walk off the floor, and someone escorts you to the restroom. But you usually don't have that much time between each different event,
right.
And you more than likely won't go to the restroom while your teammate is up on their event because you want to be there to cheer them on.
Right. Let's talk about the leotards, or Leos, as you guys call them. They're very sparkly. I think the women this year have like 4,000 Swarovski crystals on the leotards. Who chooses those, and why are they always so sparkly?
You know, I don't know who actually makes a decision about the final leotard, but I will say that I was disappointed by the Americans' choice of wearing purple when our countries are red, white, and blue. However, for finals, I do believe that they're going to wear red, white, and blue, and it'll look more patriotic, and I think that's the way it should be. You're at an Olympic Games, and you should show that you're representing your country.
Right. Why isn't there any kind of team event really in gymnastics, like synchronized gymnastics or anything like that? Has people ever tried that?
You know, I wonder if that would be something that could probably work for rhythmic gymnastics because they dance and they do leaps and turns and they have ribbons, and that might be very beautiful. But I think for artistic gymnastics, it's not something that is traditional, and I think it would take away from, I think the way that things are run right now.
I wanted to get your thoughts on how gymnastics is getting more diverse. You were the first African-American gymnast to win a medal, and then this year we have Gabby on the women's team and then 2 Hispanic men on the men's team. What's changed?
I know. I am just pleased to see the increase in diversity from the men's side as well as the women's side. Myself, Betty Okino, Jair Lynch, Cheney Humphrey, Tasha Swikert, we were all a part of that. We opened doors. We helped young African-American kids, and as you're saying with John Orozco and Danelle Leyva, Hispanic kids, see the sport of gymnastics as an opportunity for them to excel. And if you go to a local gymnastics gym these days on the grassroots level, there has been a significant amount of diversity, though I was not seeing it as much on the top level, and I'm happy to see that at these Olympic Games, the representation is more of a reflection of what America is all about.
You guys are incredibly flexible, obviously. How do you get so flexible, and are you guys also really good at yoga, I guess, at the end?
You know, I think it depends on the athlete. Not everyone is a naturally born flexible athlete. I was not naturally born flexible. I had a coach that just sat on me, and I went through a significant amount of pain to learn all this. But, that's typical in the sport of gymnastics. If you want to learn a split, or if you want to get more than a 180-degree split, you're going to have to go through some pain to gain that flexibility, and that's what I did. Some people do come out of the womb and they're naturally flexible, but they might not be naturally strong. So some have their strengths and some have their weaknesses.
Back when you were competing in the Olympics, there was a perfect 10 system in gymnastics, but that's no longer around. Some former athletes I talked to think that the FIG, the International Gymnastics Federation, should bring that back, and they are looking at changing the code. What do you think? I
love the new scoring system. The audience never understood it before, and they don't understand it now, so it doesn't really matter. They weren't aware of the start value and the combination values then. They just looked for that perfect 10, and there were many athletes that their routines didn't even come from a perfect 10, and yet people would chant 10, but yet value-wise, the routine was worth a 9.8. So the audience was not knowledgeable. If you're not in the sport, you're not going to be very knowledgeable of what the value of that routine was then. And that's the same thing now. The only difference is the gymnasts are not capped at a 10.0, whereas back in the day, I was capped at a 10, but I had routines that were worth 10.2 or 10.3, but yet I could never be rewarded for it.
Right.
And so today, the way the scoring system is, if you are a far more talented athlete or you can do more difficulty, they reward you for doing that difficulty, and that's what I love about this new scoring system, which is why the difference between someone that's going to be in first place and fifth place is probably quite significant, because the girls that are 1, 2, their start values are probably tenths ahead of the other girl that was in fifth place, and it's good. It's something that I wish they implemented during my year because I would have dominated a lot more.
Got it. Now, some people have said that they worry that the new scoring system kind of makes the athletes focus a little less on the artistry, the elegance, the execution. Do you think that's become a problem, that it's become too physical?
It is a lot more physical, and there's less time for, the dance or the grace or the beautiful aspects of the sport of gymnastics to be seen, because they're just trying to get the values for each trick. So it's just flip, 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 flip. It's exciting still to watch, but it's not as beautiful, and that's very correct. And you do see a lot more athletic builds in the sport for that reason. These girls have to be extremely strong to be able to get through the endurance that it takes now to get through a 4 tumbling pass routine on the floor. And so that longer, lean, balletic body type is not really the case anymore.
Just going back one more time to something you mentioned before, a lot of moms and daughters watch the Olympics together. They're glued to the gymnastics, and then they go find the nearest gym and sign up. There's like this boost every 4 years in the sport.
Yep.
What should moms and daughters know before they go out there and sign up for gymnastics?
I think they should sign their daughters up in gymnastics. I think it's a great sport to start your child in at 4, 5, or 6 years old. It's very fun. It's going to give your daughter or your son an amazing foundation when it comes to agility, strength, condition, coordination, something that'll help them in any other sport that they end up pursuing in life. And but it's about putting them in it, making sure they have fun, making sure these goals are their goals, not mom or dad's goals. I've coached for a number of years, doing private lessons and clinics, and a lot of times the kids didn't want to be there, but the parents wanted them to be there. And I'm not a parent, so I can't speak from personal experience, but I am an aunt, and every now and then, my niece doesn't want to go to swimming practice, and I think it's great that my sister kicks her in the butt and has her go. But if my sister tried to pull my niece out of swimming, she would kick and scream and cry because she really does love the sport. And so if the love is there, that's what matters more than anything. That it's not mom or dad's dream, but the kid really does want to be there. They just, of course, understand that there's going to be tough times where mom or dad is going to have to push them a little bit.
Very good advice. Thank you so much for your time. This has been really helpful.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
With the Wall Street Journal here in London, I'm Jeff Fowler.